Okay, hi. I wanted to post a video about people who don't necessarily know me personally, or who only know a little bit about me from the other videos that I've posted and perhaps my blog or things like that, if they haven't really read into my blog. But the one thing that I wanted to address is that a lot of people, when they meet me, or when they speak to me or something, send me emails or whatever, they think that Michael Jackson is all there is to me and nothing else. And it may come as a shock to the systems of a lot of people, hence the thunderbolt earring, lightning bolt earring. There is actually more to me than Michael Jackson, because I lived 8 years before I even heard the name Michael Jackson. And I wanted to talk about something that is absolutely not pertaining to Michael Jackson at all. And that is my love of classic film. I have made several blog posts on and off about my love of classic films and how I'm just obsessed with Turner Classic Movies, and literally on my phone, wherever in the hell my phone is, here's my phone. I have my schedule planned around movies that TCM shows. And I have been a lover of classic movies, God, before I even knew what a classic movie was, because my father used to sit me in front of the TV when I was a kid, and I guess he let the TV babysit me. But I grew up watching Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin. That was like the first silent film I ever saw was Charlie Chaplin, when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And it didn't even occur to me that it was silent because I liked the slapstick comedy he was doing so much. But I dug up pretty much all the old films that I have that I could find for the moment to show that, yes, I'm not just blowing hot air, spitting in the wind, that I actually do have a classic film collection. And these are some of them. I have Nancy Drew, movie mystery collection, which stars Benita Granville, whom I absolutely love. I just think she's the cutest little thing in the world. And it is Nancy Drew and the Hidden Staircase, Nancy Drew the Troubleshooter, Nancy Drew the Detective, and Nancy Drew Reporter. And I first saw this whole thing on TCM, and I thought it was neat, and I went out and bought it. A lot of stuff comes from me watching TCM and wanting to have it. But I like this. This is from the 1940s, when Nancy Drew was really, really big in America because she was like all-American girl. The Nancy Drew series actually started, I think, in the late 1920s and early 1930s. I read a few of these books when I was in school. Absolutely love Alfred Hitchcock. I used to watch the old Alfred Hitchcock Mystery Hour reruns on CBS when I was little. All I knew was Alfred Hitchcock and Good Evening. And I mean, I grew up watching him and watching his films. First time I saw Birds, I slept with my mother for 3 days. And this set actually has some of his early works. This is Alfred Hitchcock Begins. Can you totally believe I got this at Walmart for $5? And it has 20 of his films, his early films from when he was a filmmaker in England before he came over to the United States. Some of them are silent, some of them are talkies, and they even have the original The Man Who Knew Too Much, which I also have the remake of his film of that with Jimmy Stewart in it. Jimmy Stewart and Doris Day, where they sing Que Sera, Sera. That's from the 1950s. These are from the 1920s and 1930s. And my favorite one from all of this that I've seen so far, I haven't watched them all yet, was Strange and Rich, because I just love the scene where they're on the boat and they eat the cat. How to Catch a Thief with Cary Grant and Grace Kelly. I love Cary Grant. He has skin like shoe leather, but he is just like the quintessential dashing. He is like in real life, he was like what John Hamm as Don Draper in Mad Men is now. Just that cool, hip, cigarette smoking, drink guzzling guy. who's too tan. Because he just kind of blends into the bricks. My all-time favorite Hitchcock movie, Vertigo. Because I just die for Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak. I love Kim Novak. I idolize her. And I just wish I could speak like her, because she just was so refined in this film. I mean, it was bananas. And then Jimmy was just losing his mind left and right in the film. It's just the most spectacular picture. It's actually like 2-disc special set. And I keep getting all of these from Mall. My favorite film series, The Thin Man, with Myrna Loy and George Powell. William Powell. This is The Thin Man, After the Thin Man, Another Thin Man, and Shadow of the Thin Man. There are 2 other films that came after these in the mid-1940s. I don't particularly care for them, because the original writers and stuff like quit, and the dialogue wasn't as great as it was when the film started. The film series started in 1934 and ended, I think, in 1946 or 1947 with I think it was The Thin Man Goes Home. And they're a great little crime-fighting team, him and Myrna Loy. And I adore Myrna Loy. I just think she was the cutest little thing, and I didn't know she was a redhead until like 2 years ago. And she is one of my favorite silent pre-code actresses, because she was just like a little spitfire next to him. She started off as kind of like, I guess you could say a vamp, like something on par with Clara Bow and Theda Bara, maybe even Joan Crawford. She started off as vamp, and it wasn't until she took this role here where she got more into like a wholesome sort of character, because she had been typecast as like this sort of like exotic, lusty beauty. And I've seen her in films other than this, like earlier stuff, and she really was very typecast. But this is the great thing, is she was alive today. I'd like to shake her hand, I'd like to shake William Powell's hand if he was still alive today. Unfortunately, both of them are deceased. That's the only problem with liking classic people, is that scores of them are not with us. Because everybody in every single one of these films I spoke about are dead, if you can believe it. They all are, and it sucks. So there's like no great people left. I have some more, if you can believe that. This isn't so old. This is from the 1960s. It is The Trouble with Angels, with Hayley Mills, who was in the first Disney version of The Parent Trap. She's a little spitfire redhead, and it also stars Rosalind Russell, who I really like, because she's in this movie, The Women That Turn to Black, with Norma Shearer and Joan Crawford. 2 actresses, once again, I die for them. I love them so much, because they were all really like strong, fashionable women. And a lot of the time, like a lot of guys, gay men that I've seen, idolize Joan Crawford. Like some white guys, because like the black guys like have Diana Ross and that sort of thing. But they all want like a strong female role model, and like that's what these women were. Okay, Norma Shearer did kind of overact every so often, but if you could see Marie Antoinette from 1938, that is an epic tour de force performance from Norma Shearer. Especially the last scene, as she's going to the guillotine, she absolutely refused makeup, and that was unheard of in the 1930s for a film star to be seen without her makeup and looking completely tore up from the floor up nearby made me throw up, really. And it really is spectacular. I don't even know what to say, I'm speechless. It's just that I just adore these films, adore these people so much. Betty Davis. Betty Davis to films, for me, is what Michael Jackson is for music. She is the best to me. My favorite actresses are Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, Norma Shearer. It's just a long list. But Betty Davis is at the top. And this has 4 of her films. now Voyager, Dark Victory, which is my favorite Bette Davis film, aside from Of Human Bondage that she did in 1934 with Leslie Howard. And if I wasn't wearing lipstick, I would do the whole wipe my mouth scene from that from Of Human Bondage. Old Acquaintance with Miriam Hopkins. I do not like Miriam Hopkins because I think she just overacts and overtakes the entire scene. If you could be in the Dallas football stadium and she would just canvas the entire thing and take up the entire thing and make it look this big. And Jezebel. And what I like best about the film series is that Jezebel and Dark Victory both feature George Brent, whom I love so much. He's such a handsome actor. He was such a handsome actor. And I've never seen any actor since that even remotely looks like him. That's like another one of a kind. Dark Victory is so my favorite. This is a set of literary romance pictures that I bought in particular for Little Women because I like the 1949 version of Little Women, and it features a blonde Elizabeth Taylor as the role of Amy March. It also has Madame Bovary, Pride and Prejudice, and Anna Karenina. Madame Bovary has Jennifer Jones, Pride and Prejudice has Greer Garson, and Anna Karenina has Greta Garbo. I like the 1949 version of Little Women over the 1993 version that starred Katharine Hepburn in the lead role of Jo March, which is, I always found that to be completely hilarious because Katharine Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor, may they both rest in peace, were friends of Michael Jackson, and I thought that it was absolutely side-splittingly hilarious that they both did two different versions of the same film. Now, if I'm right, Elizabeth Taylor's version was for Warner Brothers, and Katharine Hepburn's was for the RKO Studios. I have seen both, and I'm just not that huge a fan of Katharine Hepburn. I only tolerate her because she was my cousin's friend. She does have some other good films. It's just that Little Women just did not click for me the way that the June Allison, Liz Taylor one clicked for me. And my favorite film of all blinking time, it ain't Moonwalker, it ain't The Wiz. Hold on to your hats, cat. Gone with the Wind. And I'm going to let that sink in that a black person just said that her favorite film is Gone with the Wind. Let it simmer for a minute. I'm not BSing, this ain't no April Fool's gag. This is really my favorite film of all time. And I say that because I am a great fan of Vivien Leigh, I'm a great fan of Clark Gable, and if you can believe it, only one person from the entire cast, the main cast, Olivia de Havilland, is still alive. Everybody else has gone on up to heaven, which is a shame. And I'm dying. I wish I could meet Olivia de Havilland so terribly, to shake her hand and tell her how wonderful she was and how much I love her films. But it's just, this is all beat up because I watch it so much. It is actually a 4-disc, what is it, collector's edition. I don't know if it was like the 40th anniversary or, no, it couldn't possibly have been the 40th anniversary. But it's a 4-disc collector's edition with the 2 parts of the film and just whole gobs and gobs of extra about the cast and crew and all that sort of thing. And I've watched it to death. And believe it or not, right now in my room on my bed, I actually have Gone with the Wind, the novel that the movie is based on. And I am currently reading that because as good as the film was, the book is even better. Even though there is quite a liberal use of the N-word that I don't like and just attribute that to ignorance. It is written in a very good, glowing manner, and I like to call myself a writer, and, you know, I admire other writers, even if they are a little backwards in their thoughts. But I just try to remember that at the time it was written, there are certain things that were considered alright that aren't considered alright now. But I just wanted to share my my collection. This is just a tiny bit of it. I have gobs more movies hiding around. But I love just old films. I just love the way people were back then. How every man was a gentleman. Even the bad guys, like James Cagney. He's such a cad, but he was also a gentleman. I mean, he shoved a grapefruit in a woman's face like in Public Enemy from 1931. But in the same tip, when he met Jean Harlow in the film, he got down and opened the door for her. So like, he's smashing grapefruits, he's opening doors. I don't know what to think. And don't even get me started on Yankee Doodle Dandy when he was tap dancing. I mean, there's just so many stars that I like from way back when that I can't even begin to talk about it. It is so many stars. I mean, I could just sit all day and talk about Rudolph Valentino. Sit all day and talk about, oh God, Jim Stewart, James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart. So many people. Barbara Stanwyck. The Barbara Stanwyck. Can't wait to see her film The Lady E tomorrow night on TCM. There's just absolutely so many people, like I said, I can't even start. But I just wanted to show and share that, believe it or not, there is more to me than MJ and glitter and single white gloves and everything. So, just wanted to share that and encourage other people to check out films. Just because it was made before you was born doesn't mean that it's not something you should look at. I mean, I love it. So, check it out if you have the time. I mean, go to YouTube. YouTube has all sorts of films. Yeah. Alright, bye.